Hi everyone. So this is part 2 of our chord theory based on triads. So in this part we're actually going to look at what's called the relative minor. Our last one we looked at building triads on the scale of C major. So here it is here, our completed C major scale triads, and we've got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor and B. Okay, or B half diminished. So I'm not going to go over that again. If you need to revisit that, please go back to part 1 of how to build the triads, and it will show you how to do it. So if we go down, we're going to go down and we're going to have a look at what the relative minor of C is. So I'll just give you a quick explanation of this. When we look at a scale, let's say C major, all major scales have a relative minor. And what that means is that that minor shares the exact same key signature. Now a key signature appears here, just after your clef, okay? And they have sharps and flats. So if you look at a piece of music and it's got sharps and flats just here, it means that it's in a particular key. Now C major happens to be the easiest one because it has no sharps or flats and it uses all the white notes of the keyboard. Now when we work out the relative minor, it is actually the 6th note of the scale. Okay, so whatever the 6th note of your major scale is, that gives you the relative minor. So in C major, we can easily see our 6th note here is A, and A minor is the relative minor. So A minor also has no sharps or flats in its key signature. So let's have a look at the A minor scale. Let's build one, and it's called the A minor natural scale, or the natural A minor scale. So here we are. Now, when I do the A minor, I'm going to start down here. I'm going to start my A down here, and it doesn't matter whether I start it there or if I start it up here, okay, we're going to end up with the same chords. It's just that if I start it down here, I think it'll just look a bit better on the screen. If we start it up higher, it'll actually go up higher above the staff, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start it here. So here's A. I'm going to start on A, and since there's no sharps or flats, we can just continue putting our notes in. We're going to put our 7 notes in. That's all we need to put in, 7 notes, because we get back to A if we get to the octave, and we don't need to do that. Okay, so there's our 7 notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How easy is that? The first 7 notes of the alphabet. Alright, so there are our scale degrees of A minor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do exactly the same thing as we did before, and that is we're going to put in the triads, and the way to do that is just put them on the 3rd and the 5th degrees, okay, the 3rd and the 5th intervals above it. So if you're starting on a line, if your bottom note starts on a line, which it does here, then we just go on the line above, that's the 3rd, and we go a line above that, and that's the 5th, okay, and that gives us our triad. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing that now to build our triads on A natural minor. Alright, now I'm going to put in the actual chords themselves. So you'll probably get a bit of a sense of deja vu now as you see these chords appearing, because they are actually the same chords that we have in the C major triads. They're just in a different order because we started on note 6. Okay, so we've got a different order of exactly the same chords. So this one now becomes chord 1. Okay, A minor now becomes chord 1. Now because it's a minor, we're going to use a little I. Okay, and chord 2 is B half diminished. So it's got that little thing. I can't put it in, so I'm just putting a little asterisk in. And then we have chord 3, but it's a major. C major is chord 3. Now chord 4 here is a minor, and chord 5 is also a minor. And chord 6 is a major, so it's capitals. And chord 7 is also a major chord. So there we have it. They're the chords of A minor, which are the relative, which is the relative scale, the relative minor scale of C major. I got that out finally. Okay, so you can see it's using exactly the same chords, just in a different order. Now, the usefulness of this is I cannot stress how useful this is, especially if you're writing a song or if you're writing a piece of music. What happens is you write it to suit your voice. So whatever key that you're in, you're writing it to suit your voice, and you can work out from there what the other chords will be that will fit. So if you are starting in the key of A minor, let's say, you'll know that all the chords that you use in C major will fit, but it will sound a bit different. It will have that minor sound, which is, some people say it's sad. Okay, but if you're in a different key, and we'll look at that with part 3 as to how that works. What happens with our keys though, and our scales, is that these chords down here, we talk about them in Roman numerals because that's the way they will always appear. Okay, chord 3 in a minor key will always be a major chord. Chord 6 and 7 will always be major chords. Okay, if we look back up at our major scale, chord 1, chord 4 and chord 5 will always be majors. Okay, and this comes in really handy when we're writing songs or pieces of music. Alright, if you need to go back over chord theory part 1, have a look at that to refresh your memory, and then come back and have a look at this and see if it makes sense. Thanks for listening.